We are going to see AWS IAM. IAM stands. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Veera Cloud Architect. Today we are going to see AWS IAM. IAM stands for Identity Access Management. IAM is a service used in AWS to protect AWS resources from various users, groups, and other resources. And we can achieve highly secure environment by limiting these user permissions. For example, in one organization there are many people are going to access AWS account. In this case there would be many administrators, and some of them would be a development team, and some of them would be testing team and production teams as well. So these various set of users will be having a different resource accesses. So the permissions of the users would be different. So by limiting this kind of access, we can improve the security of the AWS account. So for example, for a developer we can give only code commit, code deploy, like that permissions. So only to do some actions of related to the code. So like that we can give exact permissions for the right users. The topics to be covered today is users, groups, roles and policies, and some password settings. So let me get into demo part. Okay, this is my AWS IAM console. So in left hand side window you can see groups, users, roles, policies, and account settings. This is what we are going to see today. Let me tell about account settings, where we can set our password policies. So just give me a second. Yeah, here you can find a set password policy. So we can specify the length of our policy. So I'm going to specify as a 6 characters as a length of my password, and then we can select at least one uppercase and one lowercase, or one number should be there in our password, and one alpha numeric character as well. And we can specify password expiration. For example, if someone is going to access our resources only for a month, in that case we can give access for 30 days. So like I am going to give this access for 30 days. And password expiration we can specify, do we need to administrator need to reset the password, so after the expirations. So if you enable this one, only the administrator has to reset the password. And then allow user to change their own password. So very first login, we can allow them to access by the password which we have created, and then we can allow the user to create their own password. And prevent password reuse. This one can be useful for not to use the previous password. Like for example, last 3 password we should not use. In this case we can say remember last 3 password, so the user cannot use the last 3 passwords when they are doing password change. But for this example I am not going to do with these things. So I am going to use only 6 character and enable password expiration for 30 days. So this particular user, who I am going to create, they are going to have only 30 days of password, which means account usage. Save changes. Now password policy has been updated. Let me tell how to create a user. So now I'm going to create a user. So select from left hand panel and add user. So give a name of user, Alice. And actually AWS account we can access into 2 types. One can be accessed through CLI window, and other can be like a console. So I'm going to give this user, Alice user, programmatic access and console access as well. So for console access, shall I going to give a custom password or automatic password? I'm going to choose a custom password, and I'm giving some password. So require password reset. for the first time, like from next time signing in, do the user need to change their password or they are going to use the same password? So for now I'm going to untick this one, so the user no need to change the password in next sign in. So that's all. I have created a user and then I have to give a permissions to the users. So giving permissions to the user, there are 3 steps. So one can be add user to the group, and we can assign this user to some group, and the group's permissions will be placed for this particular user. Or we can copy from the existing user. Already I have one user, I can copy the permission from that existing user, or we can attach any policies which is already there. So like there are many AWS managed policies. If you want, we can attach those policies, or we can create our own policy and we can attach. For this user, I am not going to give any access, just I am going to create a user with no permissions. So I am not adding anything. So if I need to add some let me tell the policy as well. So I am going to add for this alias user to have administrator access. I can select this option which has the administrator access, which has almost all the privileges inside the AWS account. So next tags, if you want you can add it. I am leaving this for now, and that's all. Review, so username and the particular user having programmatic access and management console access as well, and the user is having administrator access. Okay, that's all. So create user. So now we have created a user name called Alice, and Alice can have a administrator access, and you can download this CSV file which has the access key and secret access key as well, access key ID and secret key access. So it has downloaded as a credential number 5 CSV file. So I have downloaded. I can use this one for later. So let me show you how to log in by using the particular credential. So I am opening this CSV file. So the username, access key and secret key, and I have a console link as well. So I am going to copy this console link first so that I can log in into the account. Okay. Okay. Let me copy and let me go into my browser. I'll take a incognito window. So let me paste it. So this is my IAM user sign in window. This account ID is nothing but my root user access. From that one I have created IAM user called Alice, and then password is user defined one. I have given the password. So sign in. So that's all. I have created another user to get into my account. So this is a different account. You can see, like if I minimize the incognito window, you can see my another window, which is this is my root account, and in incognito I have IAM user. Okay, so this account has the alias username with the user ID. So this user has a administrator access, so almost this person can use all the administrator, which means all the resources. So only what they can't do is they can't just delete the account. Rest all the account they can do it, all the resources they can access this. So this is how we can create a user. And let me tell you how to create a group. So IAM console, the left hand panel, you can see groups. The first option is group. So groups are nothing but the same set of users can be access the for example, like in my organization we have a 10 development people are there in one team. So for that team, all the 10 people are going to have a same resource access in a AWS account. So in this case, instead of creating each user and attaching creating a permissions for the each user and attaching into the user, rather we can create one group and we can add all these users into the particular group. So all the users inside that group is going to have a same resource access. So let me create a user so you can easily understand. So here I am going to create this group for UAT. So this is the UAT group. So this UAT people are going to have a AWS code build. Code build admin access. I'm going to give code build admin access. Next step, create a group. So in UAT, I have given a permission called. So you can see select group and then permissions. So the particular group will be having a AWS code build admin access. So now I can create some users and I can attach into the particular group. So the people are inside that group is going to have the code access, code build access. So let me go to users now, and I'm going to create some few users. So this is for a UAT1, T1, and I'm going to create one UAT2 and another user UAT3. So I have created 3 users the same time, and then I'm going to give access for both programmatic and management console access, and I'm going to create a password for them, and that's all. I'm going to attach the permissions. Now instead of giving I can add all these 3 users into the group. So I have created a group called UAT, and I can just add all of them into the particular group. So all these 3 people are going to be inside UAT group, and UAT group is having AWS code build admin access. So create users. Now I have created 3 users, and all these 3 users is going to be the part of UAT team. So I can download this and I can share these credentials to the with my UAT team people. So like that I can create many groups and I can create many people to access the particular group. And one point to be noted, the users can be in a multiple groups. So for example, if I have a user called Alice, right? So the Alice user can be in both a development and UAT team, which means UAT group. So the particular user is going to have a UAT group access as well as development team access. So the CSV file is downloaded, and you can see the credentials of these people. Sorry. So third one is roles. Roles are nothing but the one resource. If for example one resource is going to access another resource, in this case we can assign a role. For example, I'm going to access S3 bucket inside from particular EC2 instance. In this case I can assign S3 access permission to the particular in EC2 instance. In this case the EC2 is like server can easily access S3 resource. So let me create role. So create role, and I have to choose which service is going to access the other service. So one is I'm going to use a EC2, and there are four options to who is, like for example in this case we are going to access EC2 from EC2 to S3, and in case if I want to one person from my account is going to access another AWS account, in this case we can use another AWS account option. This can be done through AWS SDS security token service, and then web identity. This can be accessed through different Cognito window or different OpenID providers. And SAMLs can be accessed from different environments, like different federation services. So from that we can access the same account users and password we can use, and we can access the different accounts. So in this case I am going to tell how we are going to access from one resource to another resource. So now I am going to use EC2 to access S3. So I am choosing EC2 and then permissions. So in permission section I am going to give a S3 access. Okay, S3 full access I am going to give. So this is the particular policy for the S3. So I have selected and review, and I am going to give a role name. So it's going to be S3 access. So this role name is S3 access. Okay, so I have created a role called S3 access, and I need to attach for a particular resource. So for this I am going to create quickly one EC2 instance, so that I can show you how I can create a attach a role into the EC2 instance. Let me create an instance. So for this example I am going to create one AWS Linux instance. So I am choosing AWS Linux 2. Configure instance. I'm going to use one of the test VPC available. Next, add tags. Next. So for this example I need only SSH, which is fine. Create and launch. So I'm going to create one test key is there, so I'm going to use that one. Launch instance. That's all. I have launched an instance. Oh, I forgot to add a role. So even like when while creating we can attach a role, or after that also we can attach a role into the system. So for this EC2 instance, while creating I have forgotten. So now I am choosing the particular instance. Go to actions and then instance settings, where you can find attach/replace IAM role. Okay, choose here and then go to role, and this is S3 access role. So this is the role I have created right now, S3 access. I have selected that and apply. So the particular EC2 instance is having S3 access. So simply they can go into my S3 and they can see my S3 buckets from this particular instance. So I'm going to connect this particular instance. Okay, and downloads and get git bash. Yes. Okay, I have entered into my EC2. So I'm logging as a sudo user. So now I'm going to access S3, AWS S3 LS. So I have one bucket called Elastic Beanstalk. I can see my S3 from my EC2 instance. I have just attached a role, so by that I can access a particular resources. So for this only we are using a roles. Okay, and next option is policies. Policies are nothing but set of permissions. So for example, we can create our own policy to attach into any group or role or users. So policies are once again like policies are nothing but a set of set of permissions. So let me create a policy. So there are two types of policies. The one with this icon, the yellow color icon, right? This icon specify AWS managed policy, and we can create our own customer managed policies, and some of them are AWS managed job functions. So now I'm going to create my own policy. So create policy, and this is always easy to use a JSON format because I'm quite familiar with this. So because this like if someone doesn't know JSON or any coding, still we can create our own policy by using AWS policy generator. Just Google it, AWS policy generator. This is the first option you can choose to get a policy, AWS policy generator, and select the type of policy, which is IAM policy. Okay, and we are going to give a effect called allow or deny. We are going to allow some service or deny some service. We are going to allow. Okay, allow particular user to access what option I can say S3, or that is some more common, right? So I'm going to choose a EC2. Okay, let me give a all actions, and if you know the exact resource name, we can give it, otherwise we can give a star. Okay, and add statement and generate policy. So quickly I got a JSON format policy, so which can be copied and pasted in IAM console. So I have replaced. So review policy. So now I got a AWS EC2 all actions. So this is EC2 full access. Create a policy. So the particular policy is going to have a AWS access, AWS EC2 access. So to filter this policy, you can just filter policies and can go to customer managed policies. So in that I can see the customer EC2 full access policy, which I have created right now. So we can choose this policy. We can attach this policy to any group or any user or roles. So let me quickly show you like how I can create one role with my particular so I'm going to the EC2. So lambda function is going to access EC2. So in this case I'm going to choose lambda to access EC2. Permission I'm going to use my own customer managed policy. I'm selecting that, and EC2 full access, choose that one, and then review, and I'm giving a role name called EC2 access. Okay, so if I attach in lambda's function the particular role, I can access the EC2 instance from lambda function. So that's how we can create a policy and we can attach into particular role or user or group. So that's everything for today. For like next example, we can see how we can access from one EC2 account to one AWS account to another AWS account. So that's everything for today. We can see in next video, and thanks for watching my video, and please do subscribe and please do support my channel. Thank you once again.